Hi there, my name is Mark, and I'm really excited to kick off this series on integrating Swift and Playgrounds into the curriculum. So, what exactly is Swift? Well, it is a programming language developed by Apple. In fact, you can create and develop with Swift across multiple different platforms, including Linux and Windows. The Swift programming language is going to be used to create the instructions necessary to create programs to run on your devices. And for this, we're going to need the Swift compiler. You're going to be writing the instructions to create your program using the Swift programming language, and this source code will be placed into the Swift compiler. Now it's going to do many different things, among those checking for errors and hopefully creating a binary or program that you can run on your devices. I want to re-emphasize that Swift is multi-platform. In fact, in the notes that I'm keeping for this course, you'll see that I've included some Swift code, and I've even been able to compile it within this org document to view the results. Now, this is beyond the scope of this course, but I just wanted you to see that there is more to Swift than just building apps for the Apple ecosystem. Now, that being said, we are going to be looking at how we can develop with Swift within Apple's ecosystem. And there's really three paths for us to take. The first we've kind of already looked at already, which is using the Swift compiler that we can access through the terminal. And if you remember from earlier, we're going to need to create those source files that include the instructions to build our programs. And for this, you're going to need a text editor. Now, whether it's Emacs, NeoVim, Zed, VS Code, Sublime Text, BBEdit, it doesn't matter. Find an editor that you feel comfortable using and teaching with. Now, that being said, Swift also has a REPL that is available from the terminal, which allows you to run small blocks of code and get instant results. Apple has also made available an incredible integrated development environment called Xcode. And here you can do everything from compiling a single Swift file all the way to creating apps across Apple's entire ecosystem. You can edit HTML or even train a model using machine learning. It really is comprehensive. However, there's a problem with both of these paths. They both add to the cognitive load of the learner, especially those who are new to coding, which is why I really love Apple Playgrounds. It is a streamlined, minimal version of a development environment where students can focus on writing code and seeing the results of their code. Now, don't let the name fool you. It is actually really powerful. Now, all three of these paths are available on macOS, but Playgrounds is also available for iPadOS, which makes it ideal for education, which is why I'm really going to focus on developing using Playgrounds throughout this series. Now, I want to finish up with just a brief history of Swift, and I'm going to break this up into two eras. The first is the Objective-C era, followed by the current Swift era. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how Apple came to use Objective-C as its language of choice for programming on its platforms, so I'll try to anchor us, let's say 2003 when Xcode was launched. And in 2010, Apple started to develop Swift internally. Now, this effort was led by Chris Lattner, and then 4 years later, Swift was launched at WWDC. A year later, Apple open sources it and makes it available on GitHub, and the next year, Playgrounds is released. And from my understanding, this effort again was led by Chris Lattner. Now, the last point I'm going to place on this timeline is when Swift UI was introduced at WWDC, and that was in 2019. Now, for those of you that don't know, Swift UI is a declarative framework for building user interfaces. And the reason why I placed it on here is to give you some perspective of how young Swift is as a language and how it continuously develops. Well, I'm going to end this one here. Thank you for watching. My name is Mark, and I can't wait to explore why you should consider using Swift as your programming language in the next video.